Are you emotionally unavailable? Oftentimes we are questioning whether a man is emotionally available. However, I never really asked myself, am I emotionally available? Am I emotionally receptive and open? I actually wasn't. And the way that this shows up for women of color, particularly high achieving women of color who are experiencing high functioning anxiety, is quite different from that of men. Hello, divine beings. It is your girl, iyaKIN. I am the founder of the non-performative yoga school, iyaKIN, as well as an embodiment and emotional EQ coach. I'm happy to be coming to y'all today because the topic we are talking about is real juicy and absolutely necessary. The topic is tea, honey. So if you need some tea, go ahead and get you some water, get you some wine, get you whatever you need, get you some coffee, and let's go on and talk about it. We don't want the things to be spilling over, y'all. Hopefully it's all good. So for today's topic, are you emotionally unavailable? What I started to notice for myself and what I have noticed with working with my clients who are high achieving women of color is this shows up a little bit differently for us. Now let's kind of paint a picture of what emotional unavailability could look like. Imagine your living room. You just recently moved into a new apartment. You have this beautiful living room and you're now filling it up with furniture. So you have nice furniture, you have a nice couch, you have a nice little end table, you have a nice little center console table, you got a TV, you got the little dresser for the TV, and things like that. Now let's imagine that you're also bringing a bunch of stuff into this new living room that was from your last apartment that you haven't sold. So now you have 2 couches, you have 2 tables, you have all this extra stuff around. And so now when you're entering this new home, you're bumping into furniture, you're bumping into all of this old stuff that you still kind of have lying around in addition to the newer stuff, and you're finding it really hard to navigate in this new living room, in this new place, in this new home. That is what emotional availability, or how it shows up in the body for all genders. There's just not enough room for you to entertain or you to be open emotionally or to take in and be receptive to someone else's emotions or experience because there's too much old stagnant stuff energetically present in the body, making it very hard for you to cultivate a reciprocal relationship with somebody else emotionally. Now, if you are a high achieving woman of color and you're experiencing emotional unavailability, it does not mean that you don't want to experience being in relation with somebody. And it doesn't only have to be men. You might have a desire to have closer female relationships, closer friendships, and finding that you're feeling isolated and alone all of the time, which I completely understand. It's not that you don't have the desire for the connection. It's a matter of not necessarily feeling safe enough to entertain or draw them in. So let's get to the signs. First sign of emotional unavailability in a woman is dating folks that you actually have to chase, or finding yourself over-efforting and pouring into somebody and efforting excessively to retain their attention, knowing that this relationship won't actually lead you to what you want. And there's some solace in that. It allows you to protect your heart, knowing that I can never really get hurt in this because I know that this person can't actually meet me where I am, and me over-efforting and pouring into them actually still allows me to control the emotional exchange and be comfortable knowing that I'm not going to get what I actually want because I'm not necessarily ready to receive it. Now, this would show up for me in past relationships quite often, child. Ooh. Always choosing folks who I kind of knew weren't what I wanted, kind of finding solace in that subconsciously because I could easily blame it on them and say they're not emotionally available because my actions are showing that I am, but I actually was not emotionally available as well. And that kept me in the loop of trying to entertain making it work because I never had to recognize my patterning. The second way that this can show up, you're dating folks you have to change, or folks that are a little bit of a project. Instead of just creating a boundary and saying, I don't want to entertain someone I feel like I need to change, and going for someone who you know can actually meet you where you are and is present where you are. Once again, going for the project is a little bit easier, child, because consciously you're saying, I'm gonna spend all of this time trying to change this person or date towards potential. And nothing wrong with dating towards potential if there's a sincere emotional exchange that's reciprocated between both parties. But if you are dating someone for potential and trying to change them simply to kind of pass the time and feed a sensation or feed a desire that you have for just basic companionship, but not necessarily for relationship, that is another way that you are showcasing emotional unavailability, because you're not actually choosing what you actually want, creating a lot of limbo space, a lot of limbo space. What I've noticed with myself when I've done this in the past is there's just no intentionality to who I'm choosing. I'm not choosing with any type of intentionality, any type of clarity or direction. I'm kind of choosing to allow myself the grace to be in limbo for longer because I know that I'm emotionally unavailable. And that's some of the ways that we can prolong relationships that are unhealthy as women of color, experiencing a lot of anxiety in our bodies. And the third way that you might be experiencing emotional unavailability is that you're actually turned off or unattracted to men who are emotionally available, who do show a sincere interest in you that showcases a level of vulnerability, openness, and expressiveness towards their interests for you. That might come off as a turnoff if it's too heavy, too fast. But if they are sincerely interested and it's balanced in terms of how they're asserting themselves is balanced and they have a lot of the things that you want, really ask yourself, am I running away from this because I'm actually not emotionally available to receive this? Oftentimes when we find ourselves dating the same type of people who can't meet our needs, who can't meet us where we are, and you interrupt your own patterning and you date somebody completely different who showcases the things that you've been desiring and wanting, and you're still rejecting or repelling them, there might be some emotional availability that you're experiencing that's causing you to resist them. Now, I'm sure you're asking, which is a real good question, why does this happen? One is because that room is just way too full. Second is that when you're experiencing high functioning anxiety, you're actually operating from fight or flight, which is your sympathetic nervous system. You're also operating in a deep state of survival mode. When you are in your sympathetic nervous system and your fight or flight response center is activated, you are in a highly resistant state. You are not receptive because it doesn't feel safe to do so. It doesn't feel safe to invite energy in. So you are resisting and or repelling and or pushing things away to better protect yourself. There's a level of a skewed self-concept which is created by the collection of thoughts and or beliefs that you have about yourself or conditioning that you've been given about yourself when you were a child. And that self-concept might be entertaining narratives of unworthiness, causing you to feel like you're not worthy or deserving of actually receiving a loving partnership and a loving relationship. Now, the cherry on the top, y'all. How do I move through this? How do I begin to move through this emotional unavailability? Because I know that on the other end, you do desire connection. I got two ways for you. The first one is nervous system regulation. Remember when I talked about some of the signs that this is showing up in your physical body is operating in that deep fight or flight from survival? What we want to do is begin to address your nervous system. Start to cultivate practices to soothe your nervous system and to move it from that fight or flight response center and navigate your way to your rest and digest center, which is your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, the difference from your fight or flight response center and your rest and digest center is your fight or flight is resistant. You're resisting everything because it doesn't feel safe to invite things in. On the other end, your rest and digest center is your receptive center. That is where you cultivate more receptivity, where you become more emotionally available. You're allowing things to come in. You're allowing things to energetically You're inviting things in energetically. You're inviting more attention into your vessel energetically, which cultivates more reception and more reciprocity. That is where emotional availability is cultivated. But you have to begin to address soothing your nervous system so you feel safe and secure in your body, at least enough to begin to emotionally open up with yourself and with somebody else. The second way that you begin to navigate through emotional unavailability is by expanding your self-concept. Now, this is super, super important. As I said, your self-concept is your collection of thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself or that you've been conditioned to believe. And if your self-concept is one that is void of self-love or voided of worthiness, then you're going to constantly be in this place of trying to protect yourself from getting hurt because you never feel kind of worthy of the love that you actually desire. So expanding your self-concept is crucial. And the way we do that is by really closely watching the thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself in your unconscious and your subconscious mind, working to study your thoughts through the practice of meditation. These tactical practices are phenomenal in cultivating a state of reception in your energetic body. And I would love to support you in navigating through your energetic and your subtle body. If this video resonates with you and you identify with the signs that I shared, as well as being in a state of hyper fight or flight, then I got you. Click the link in my bio to join the waitlist for my Divine Feminine Yoga Workshop beginning in November. This is the last cohort that I will be offering for 2023. If you are a high achieving woman of color experiencing high functioning anxiety, this is the space for you. Click that link in my description box to join the waitlist. Lastly, if you're experiencing this, I want you to know that you're not alone, man. You're not alone, because I've been there. I know exactly what it's like to be there, to be pushing away the thing that you deeply desire, that you deeply want, and to have a self-concept that's pretty skewed and wanting to begin to expand it so that you can really fully express yourself from an embodied state, not a dissociative state where you're abdicating or running away from your emotions. How you feel matters, and being in your body is a safe place to be. I want you to know that. I hope this video resonated with your heart center. If it did, go ahead and let me know in the comments what resonated most for you, and also what's another supportive topic that you would like me to uncover as a high achieving woman of color experiencing high functioning anxiety. Lastly, don't forget to follow your girl on the gram at Yoga by Viala. And don't forget to follow my online yoga school at iya.well. Continue to be well, y'all, and I'll see you real soon.